did a situation, came where you met Rico Love.
Oh, it's so funny because you said that because that house I was just telling you about on 53rd,
That
that's
was
the
the one.
universe talking right there. That's the universe working. So shout out to my little big brother Rico Love too. So over at that house where we was, all camping out, playing ball, rehearsing, writing songs, whatever. One of our guys by the name of Will's like, yo, Timbo, I got this dude. Because I was over in the studio with Big. I was doing the studio stuff, one of the first ones to do it back then, especially in the R&B field. You know what I mean? They called me the young goat in Milwaukee. You know what I mean? So I was over in the studio recording with my cousin, and one day we was at BJ's house over at the house, and Will's like, yo, I got this dude I want you to hear rap, Timbo. And I think you need to take him to the studio. Man, then we had the demo deal with the lecturer, so we was kind of on the high end. I wasn't really stunting that really too much. I wasn't really paying it too much attention.
Yeah.
But Will was consistent. You know what I mean? Like, yo, bro, you need to hear him. So finally, I'm like, man, just have him come over. I'll check him out. Man, this dude Rico rap, bro. When I tell you his freestyle was so mean and unheard of, dude, I immediately picked up the phone and called and blocked the studio off for like 8 hours. Like, hey, cuz, yeah, I'm about to bring this cat through here. We about to record whatever. So I produced 5 songs. Me and the guy, my boy Geechee, produced 5 songs for Rico. I used to take him down to in the hoods in Milwaukee at the Boys and Girls Club. He would
Wow.
freestyle battle cats and destroy them. You know what I mean? He had it back then. He was number like 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, I believe, back then. So yeah, man, that was actually the first demo. He talked about the Usher demo. Rick, I'm gonna get on you about that too, but you gotta make sure you tell him that I took you with Cuz basement. That was the first time he got in the studio. You feel me? But I'm proud. I'm
Yeah.
proud of him, and yeah, man, I'm just ecstatic to know that I had hands on with somebody that like that. Yeah.
It's dope that where you discuss about who got talent, where like it was no ego thing, just a grown man showing a young kid, saying, love, and
Right.
hoping that will, pop off. Cause a lot of times a
Hmm.
person will try to steal your ideas. And after that, you be like, wait a minute now, how do it? I mean, like I'm seeing that motherfucker blow up, like what the hell. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I
It's
watched Drake Champs, shouts to Jay Valentine and Tank, and he mentioned your name. And I said, wait a minute now. I was like, I said, yo, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? He mentioned your name on there, you know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah, man.
And this ain't
Yeah.
got nothing to do with him, no this like that, you know what I'm saying? I hate when other people, they don't tell who actually discovered them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's okay, Rashad, because at the end of the day, man, it's platforms like this. And shout out to you, bro. You talk about me, I got to give you your flowers right back. It's a boomerang, bro.
I
You've
appreciate
been
it.
doing this for a minute, and you give people like myself a voice. You give us a voice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm human. You know what I mean? I felt a certain kind of way about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't do anything for that in return, but some reciprocation would have been cool, or at least acknowledgement, letting people know. But it's okay because at the end of the day, he knows where he got his start at, and the people that's on the inside and family and friends, the whole Milwaukee, they know. They know where it came from because he was the rap. He was the rap nigga. I was the R&B
Yeah.
producer and singer. So then he started writing songs and whatever. People started questioning and started acting like, yo, well, what's going on and this, that, and the third. So I kind of blew it off. I'm proud of that brother and what he is, and I mean that. You know what I'm saying? I really, really am. You know what I mean? Everybody get their
Absolutely.
turn. The first should be last, and the last should be first. And I'll leave that right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big facts and stuff.
Mhm.
Now, I know a lot of artists go through these situations. Now, like being a songwriter, was you like making demos as far as like send to other artists and they want to, sing and stuff like that?
Of course,
You
yeah. I
know,
was I was doing that. I was
you
doing
know,
that, man. Yeah, I definitely was doing that. A couple of songs. Always tell people, some of your favorite songs, R&B songs, I was a part of, or I was in the room when a lot of these songs were made. But again, even like with Rico, I was 18. He was 15. I was only 3 years old, so I was still a kid. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So when I was in the studio with these major artists and these people, I didn't know nothing about I wasn't knowledgeable about publishing and royalties. I was just excited. I'm just a kid from Milwaukee in the projects, you know what I mean, in church growing up and
Yeah.
being in Atlanta and you know what I'm saying, being in the clubs with the Jermaine Dupri's and all those people. I'm just happy to be there. I'm just, you know, just hey, not knowing the whole time them cats was eating, man, and just really pulling our swag and our drip, the way we was talking, the way we was dressing, what we was writing, ghost writing about,
Yeah.
thinking about, man, they went on to make millions and millions. But again, the first shall be last and the last shall be first.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because you know,
Mhm.
it does trip you out too, though. Because especially, you know, like how you go from a year ago being one way, all of a sudden you just directly do a whole 360. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like a
yeah,
whole different
bro.
persona. Like you like a great portray a role or something. That's what
Yeah,
cracks me up about some of these people in the industry, man, and everything.
yeah.
Now, I want to
Yeah.
ask you this.
Mhm.
And at one time, I mean, we just wanted, I don't know who this cat was. I think his name was Andrew or something like that. We were back and forth.
Mhm.
And okay, when I posted a song Throwback by Usher, and cause I remember you said, yeah, my boy wrote that song and stuff.
Mhm.
And then I said, I said, I think Tim did a demo for that, but at the time I was thinking too far ahead that day, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay.
And he was like, nah, man, he didn't do that, this and that. Nah, you know,
Yeah.
this really, you know, it was part with this person. I said, look, bro, we ain't gonna do all that, man. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
no,
saying?
you just I mean you just speaking up for your brother, you know what I'm saying? And you know the backstory, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So naturally people will think that because that was actually the first record that he wrote for Usher. You know what I'm saying? Well, the first
Mhm.
one to really go. 'Cause I mean, I was around when Just Blaze sent him that track and he started writing. So you're not wrong for that, bro. A lot of people assume that. But the
Yeah.
reality of it is that I was very voiceless and instrumental in early in his career. You know what I'm saying? He learned a lot. You know,
Mhm.
again, I was the R&B cat. He was a songwriter, so he took it to the next level. He incorporated what he did with what he learned from me and Jagged Edge and different ones that he was around and made it work for him.
Yeah, absolutely. The stuff.
Yeah.
Now I
Hmm.
remember a while back, you know, and I always say, you know, people always should be blessed, you know, when it comes to situation and, you know, being grateful, you know, see where life is at. When you was